Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget, our game of the week for football is back on Friday night. We got 3 games we're going to have for you here on WDAY Extra. We'll have Velva against Kindred. On WDAY Plus, you'll see Century take on Davies and Bismarck against Fargo North. All the games start at 7. You can stream them all on WDAY Plus, Inforum.com. You can watch Velva Kindred right here on Extra. And then we wrap up the night with our first edition of First Down Friday, 10 o'clock on Channel 6. Great time of year to get going for the start of the season. Our next guest, I don't know if he feels like left out of the party because his team is not playing this weekend, but I'm sure they'll love the extra practice time. Is Horace is back for another year of varsity football. Last year, won 6 games, made the state tournament, won a game in the state tournament for losing in the 2A state semifinals to eventual champ Fargo North. Our pleasure to bring back the only coach the school has ever had. Harvey McMahon joins us here on this Wednesday morning. I can remember you coming on the show 3 years ago. You're out practicing in a field with freshmen, and now here you are. You're a veteran coach. You got a veteran team. Does it feel like that was like 10 years ago?
Yeah, it seems almost like a completely different program. I was joking around with one of my assistant coaches I've been with since 2017. We were at South together. You know, that first freshman class was 14 on the first day, and this year we had 38.
Wow.
So it's just, yeah, you get out on the field and you go from Liberty Middle School football field to now you kind of got your own stuff. And yeah, it's definitely, it has seemed like quite the journey since then. Yep.
Does it feel gratifying too to have the number of kids come out and then see the success that you had last year?
Yeah, and I think that all ties into the culture we've built since 2020. You know, I teach at the middle school, and the kids around here love football. You know, in Horace community, they love football, and that's something, you know, I aim to do at that elementary camp back in 2020. Is I wanted everyone to be super excited that, you know, Horace is kind of like a college town. It was 2,000 people when I started, and now I think they said it was 6,000. So everyone that's in Horace is relatively new in the last couple of years. So it's just getting people excited for football, and the kids have done a really good job of buying in and kind of setting their own culture.
This is a day of Bison tight ends. I got Noah Gindorf coming here in a minute. His former teammate, Josh Babich, I ran into, is also on your staff. I know his wife obviously teaches and coaches on the Horace girls basketball team. How did this come about for them joining your staff?
Yeah, I met Macy. She's actually a VCSU athlete like myself. So we kind of had that connection, and she coaches with Brent Hintz for basketball, and we just kind of connected. And when Josh was done with his playing days, he approached me about maybe helping out. And so we've had him since I want to say June, and he's an excellent young coach. And yeah, we are very blessed to have Josh be a part of the staff, and Macy too. It's awesome having her at the high school because she's almost like the player monitor for me over there, and they know not to mess with my coach Babich at the high school. So
to have a guy like Josh that's played Division I football, played professionally, how much is the guy, like your kids look up to a guy like that?
Yeah, and honestly, it's the whole staff. We have multiple, you know, Bruce Green was an All-American at MSUM. You know, Josh obviously had some stunts at the professional level. Chris Compton played at Minot State. So we have some Valley City State guys on staff. Like it's great to be able to take all the knowledge these guys have, Josh included, and just take the tidbits of what we have and build on that and add wrinkles to it.
To have the season you had last year and to make it as far as you did, was that expected, unexpected? How do you evaluate 2023 in your mind?
Well, I think expectations, it's like John Wooden said, you know, the biggest expectation is the one you have on yourself. And so for us, it was just getting the most out of our kids. And for them, it was the most they could get out of each other and play for each other. And we did feel like we accomplished that last year. We felt like we were able to put together a successful season. And, you know, that senior class last year had a lot of pride in setting a solid foundation. And so they did that successfully. And, you know, for this year, the expectation is it remains the same. You know, it's like I tell the kids, I'd rather lose and you play the best game of your life than win and you're lollygagging around on the field. Mm-hmm. So I think if you have that mentality, it sets yourself up to get the most out of your guys.
You feel like now, Harvey, you're not sneaking up on anybody, though? Like, not necessarily, maybe you did that last year because maybe teams just didn't know how talented you were. That's not going to happen in 2024.
Yeah, we didn't get scheduled for as many homecomings this year, so I don't I don't think we're gonna be sneaking up on anyone. And there's an expectation too at our level because we are a West Fargo school. You know, a lot of people don't understand the numbers of Horace
Yep.
because we are vastly removed from. And I was just talking to Coach Newton about this. Like, we just aren't the same as Cheyenne. You know, it is the same as far as building a program, but just the numbers are way different. But because we are a West Fargo school, I think a lot of people assume, you know, we are Cheyenne and West Fargo High Packers. And again, we will get there. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, we haven't even finished building the high school yet.
Well, I'm of the mindset probably in a couple years, 26, 27, you're going to be in the big boy division. Is that your expectation? Just the way that population way is going?
Yeah, I was listening yesterday to Gibby from Bismarck and you guys, and it's gonna be interesting because I've heard the same thing about, you know, there's this year and then there might be a 2-year plan.
Yep.
So I know we got this year, and then as far as what they do for the next 2 years, I don't know what really happens. You know, I don't really have an interest of opting down ever, if that's a thing.
Yep.
It's just not something I'm interested in doing. But I also want to make sure our numbers are right before we do go up. So there, we'll see what the people who get paid all the big bucks decide. And at the end of the day, it's coaching football in North Dakota, and you just got to enjoy it wherever you're at.
I had Jacob Holman on the show, Harvey, a couple weeks ago, the head coach at Minot North, and I asked him if he's talked with you guys about what to expect. I know it's different, but he's in Minot. They have their first varsity year. If you were to give him any advice, what would you tell him about what to expect this season?
Just enjoy it. You know, that first season, win, lose, or draw, it's a special one. And, you know, the sign of a good coach is, do you love the kids and do you love coaching? And so, you know, like you said, I know they got seniors this year. They did more of an open enrollment thing where we did like a gradual thing going up, but still it's your first year growing a program, and just have a heck of a lot of fun with those guys and just enjoy being with them every day. And that's, again, scoreboards will take care of itself, but you know, I'm sure he played somewhere, and he would know those locker rooms. That's the important thing.
I was joking with you off air. Who did your schedule this year, by the way? 4 of the first 5 on the road? What's that about?
I can't dig at anybody on that. You know, four of the first 5 on the road. It's just another thing I can give the kids to say, you know what, we got to be road warriors right away, and we got to hold ourselves accountable. So yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you can look at it as an obstacle or an opportunity. We're choosing opportunity. So let's go get these away games rolling.
For football fans that are used to, again, we're talking about the changing times here. Fargo North is no longer a two-way school. St. Mary's is back as a two-way school. How much does that change the dynamic of when you're looking at the whole division for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think, you know, last year North was an extremely talented team, and I know Bismarck St. Mary's is just traditionally, they're always tough.
Yep.
So I think like this year, my expectation with that movement is I think the AA level across the board is gonna be really competitive. And that's something, you know, a lot of people said, you know, you made the semis last year. I genuinely believe, at least in the East, you know, I think we have 6 teams and only 4 get to go. And I couldn't tell you which 4 go right now, including us. And so I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, how kids take adversity. Obviously injuries is a big one, and just kind of see where we're at in October.
Playing a whole kind of a statewide schedule. Are you a fan of that?
Well, okay, opinions. So basically, here's my thought on it, and people can not like it and they can like it. But if you get a class big enough, I am a supporter of the current setup where you send 4 and you play that EDC schedule.
Yep.
No, I was a favor of the QRF. It works in Minnesota. And the only reason I'm a favor for the QRF is, you know, when you only have 10, 12 teams, you're playing everybody. And so I like making the games worth something. I know not everyone likes the QRF. Obviously, Gibby is going to listen to this and be like, who's this new guy from Horace? He doesn't know what he's talking about. But my reason for it is I want to make sure every game counts, you know? So that's where I think if we were to go and make the divisions or the conferences bigger, then I would be in favor of getting rid of the QRF. Because I like meaningful games. And right now, half my season, it is all meaningful, but we have to make sure we're dialed in for that second half against EDC opponents.
Let me ask you, your quarterback being back in Taylor Stefano, which we saw a little highlight of, 6'5", lanky kid. How important is it having your guy back again under center at quarterback?
Yeah, it's super important. Mainly just for the leadership piece. Taylor's a guy that can put the ball in spots all around the field, but it's that leadership piece that's been really big for him. That this summer I've been working with him, and he's really gotten to take it serious. And the kids see that. And at the end of the day, like when you have a kid who's got a frame like that and a talent like that, and they can work hard, it elevates everyone on the roster from number 1 all the way down to 53. You know what I mean? So that's the important thing with that.
Let me end with the most important question. Your helmets are sweet. Tell who made the design on that? How did that come about?
I did, and I got a lot of slack for it because
No,
the
why?
first year, well, so the first year I had the Hawk sticker just
Yep.
like, normal. And then I was like, I want to try doing something different. I don't want to be plain Jane. So I lived in Oregon for 5 years growing up. And so I was like kind of a duck fan. So I'm like, let's go get those wings. And so I
Yes.
reached out to Healy's and they kind of made our own design on it. And I made a tweet saying out with the old, in with the new. And I had a couple of comments like, aren't you new anyways? So it's like, so yeah, that was my idea. I own it. I think it's gone well overall though.
Yes. I mean, I'm a nerd like this. They're different. Nobody else has it. It's sweet, man. I rock it. They look good.
I'm trying to keep up with the honkers. That's still my favorite bird, maybe in North Dakota. So.
That's pretty good. It's great to see you, man. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck this year. We'll catch you down the road, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Harvey McMahon, head coach of the Horace Hawks, as they get set for another year of varsity football after a trip to the state semifinals last year. You saw the grand schedule there. Horace will not play this week, and they'll open up the season on the road as they'll go to Dickinson a week from Friday to start the 2024 season. Good stuff there. We'll take a final break here of Hour 1. Noah Gindorf coming up in about 10 minutes. More Bison tight end joining us in studio as we roll on a busy Wednesday. Hot Mike returns. Back after this.